Hello, hello. All right, we are going live, and I've got my guest, Mike Koenigs, who's going to be here shortly. And gosh, we just did the coolest thing where we could actually stream to Instagram from our computers, which I didn't even know was possible, but it was really cool. So I'm gonna have to have my team help me and get that set up. So we literally were just live on his channel streaming into Instagram. So this may be the last time we do it directly on our phones and actually use this new technology that he showed me. And it was so cool. All right, he should be on here shortly. Hello, hello, hello. There he is. I see him. All right, we'll get him on here in just a second. Hello, Mike. This is going to be a good one today. It's funny because we didn't even start our Instagram live and I already just learned a whole bunch from Mike. All right, here we go. We're going to join him right now. All right, there he is.
Woohoo! How you doing? I didn't know if
Good,
my
how are
audio
you?
was going to work.
I just realized that I didn't switch my, let me see if I can switch my headset here. I was on the computer. I was just telling everyone. Literally just doing a live from, you had streamed us from Ecamm, from Yellow Duck, and like got us onto Instagram without us having to use our phones, because already there's like little things like, wait, this wasn't hooked up. Wait, that wasn't. All the stuff that happens. I love technology.
Yeah, it works for you anyway. That's for sure.
Well, welcome.
Thanks. Hi.
Mike Koenigs with us today, and I'm so excited. You're just an incredible person. I've known you for years through Genius Network, through different projects, all kinds of fun stuff, and you've always just been this guy who literally just did what you just did, which is have a short conversation with Mike, and all of a sudden he's just giving you brilliant ideas or something that's just going to make your business so much better. So, and that just happened.
Deliver as many nerdgasms a day as possible. That's my.
I love it. Nerdgasms. That's the best. So, let's start off with, who you are, what you do, what's the problem you solve, how you make people's lives better.
Okay. I basically am an unemployable nerd from a tiny town in Minnesota who started taking things apart and as soon as I could crawl. Always loved tools and gadgets, and I always wanted to write video games, and my goal was to run away from home and go work for Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak when I was about 13 or 14 years old, and work at Apple. And that led to me teaching myself how to program. I taught myself how to write video games. I eventually wrote video games.
Wow.
And I also hated being poor. So that trauma has driven me to start, build, and sell 5 businesses from scratch. And so I'm on probably my 10th company right now, but 6th real business. Got a great team, and we call ourselves the Superpower Accelerator.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that not only have you built companies from scratch, then you've scaled them, then you've sold them to publicly traded companies. It's incredible.
So I'm lucky, and
yeah.
So what we do now is, the way we describe ourselves is we help entrepreneurs who sell complex products to sophisticated customers create category of one brands, elevate their authority, their reputation and status, reach a larger audience, and multiply their impact, make more money. And
right.
So when someone says, well, why do I need that? What I would say is, if you look at Elon Musk and Tesla, and Bezos and Amazon, Sarah Blakely and Spanx, Oprah, Steve Jobs, their category of one business leaders, business owners, CEOs, and their DNA gets embedded in the organization. They've created their own category. They really are a category of one. And what we do is we help business owners make that leap and elevate themselves. And if they don't know what they don't know, but they know where they want to go, I like to say we have the platform, the technology, the know-how, the experience, and the team to build and scale. And like we just did one, this is a project for a client. His name's Justin Donald. This is the lifestyle investor. We built a brand with him and for him. And of course, there were a lot of other people involved. Scaled it to $1 million in 8 months from scratch. And he'll probably do 3 to 5 this year with no team other than the virtual team. So we just make stuff up and people buy it. And that's really
How do you even know where to begin? Because a lot of people have great ideas. They have something that's going to solve a problem, but then it's not getting out there. Like you said, they don't have authority. They don't know how to get their message out. They don't even know how to clarify what it is that they're doing. Like, where do you begin with someone?
Well, we have, we call it the 4 M's. So the 4, it's market, model, message, medium. Market meaning, who do you want to be a hero to use some strategic coach language? The model, which is the business model, it's how you get paid and really what the offer is. The message is, what's the story that's going to make someone want you? And then the media or medium is, what's the channel you're gonna get there. I mean, those are the fundamentals. And what I always say is we all have an innate superpower. We either know it or we don't know it. You know, for us, I need to work with someone who's been exercising their superpower, getting paid, and they've got to have, I mean, I like startups, but I don't do unfunded startups anymore. That's tough and it's risky.
Yeah.
So what we do is we amplify the superpower. We give it character. And I like to say we craft an offer that's 2 to 10 times, maybe even 100 times greater than any offer you've ever made. And then craft a story that makes people want you, that makes you appear to be truly unique because you are. And that's selling the transformation, not the transaction. So, you know, what we did with Justin, the subtitle of this book is the 10 Commandments of Cash Flow Investing for Passive Income and Financial Freedom. I think all of us want that. It's sort of like, what if you had enough money coming in so you could live like an artist on a trust fund and have 50 grand a month coming in? What would you do and what would your life be like, right?
Yeah.
Unless you got a drug problem and a lot of stuff, a lot of mistakes that you exercised a long time ago, it's hard to spend 50 grand a month on whatever, you know, assuming your other things are covered. So anyway, what Justin, when I met him, he was just this smart guy who had made money and he didn't have a job and his wife didn't either. He had passive income coming in. And I'm like, that's really cool. What do you call yourself? A cash flow investor? I'm like, that's not, you know, I don't even know what the hell that means. I go, anyway, I asked him a couple stories. And after I listened to him, he had gone from like less than $1 million in assets to 10 million in 21 months. And then his next in 4 years. And I'm like, that is a superpower. I go, do you have a system? And he's like, well, here's what I do. And I go, he was unconsciously competent. I'm like, he didn't know he had a system. So I kind of pieced it out of him. That's what we called the 10 Commandments. And then it turned out we were able to find and register the domains, lifestyle investor, lifestyle investing. We trademarked them, crafted the book, created a really cool logo. He has a coaching program, a mastermind, and, you know, filled it up on the basis of a story. So, and I think it's a story that most of us want, right? It's, again, I want it. I guess I don't have to really work. I don't have to work like I used to. I could take plenty of time off or, you know, depending on lifestyle, right? But I'd rather have all my income coming from passive income. That's the truth. Everything's always a want to, not a have to.
Right. Exactly. Oh my gosh. It's so cool. That is what you're saying is so true in terms of the story. And some people don't even realize what their story is because they've lived it so long. So they think it's not interesting. It's not intriguing. What is your like way of digging that out of them when you work with them?
Yeah. Well, the most important thing is I open up by saying, tell me a story about someone whose life you transformed with your product, your service, or your special talents. And then I ask, what else, what else, what else, what else? So we dig. So I always say we sell the transformation, not a transaction. If you're in the transaction business, it's a race to the bottom. Being in the transformation business, there's no end to the perceived value you can provide to someone if it's framed correctly and presented to the right person you want to be a hero to. And so I think it all begins with the transformation. I look for a system, I look for a process, and then we give it a unique name. And then we like to look at how big is the universe of your perfect right fit clients, and what are their traumas? What are their triggers? What are their fears? What's going on inside their mind? And then we try to resolve that with a hero's journey story. So the hero's journey story, one example, it could be once upon a time, Summer had a big problem, and Yoda came up. He tapped her with a magic wand, and she lived happily ever after. Okay, so once upon a time, the end. Okay, it's like but it's, a hero's journey is the main character has a problem, a fatal flaw, solves the problem for themselves. Other people have the same problem and say, will you help me too? And they say, sure, I'd love to help you. You become the hero in a movie starring you with me, my product or service, as your guide. I deliver you through the pits of hell. We slay the dragon. You get the prince or princess. And your fatal flaw is resolved in a way that you see it as a gift. And you have that gift to share and provide value so that everyone gets to live happily ever after. Amen.
Yes.
So that's effectively the Joseph Campbell hero's journey. And so a huge part of what we do, we do it, we call it Vision Day, where we get together and we explore, we capture, we craft the story, we create the offer, we figure out how to find the audience. And then in our minds, we role play the story until we get it down, and then figure out a way to create a transformational message in the shortest period of time. It can be 3, 5, 6 minutes long. Yeah. And when you get that out, someone raises their hand and says, I want you. And that can be through any channel imaginable, whether it's Insta or YouTube or direct mail. I mean, I'm working on a direct mail right now, Yeah. It's whatever works.
Exactly. Is it kind of going off, but when you're looking at different channels, have you found more channels to be more successful with different industries?
Well, so here's a good example. And there's industry and then there's the buyer. So one thing I've learned, and this is a good example, someone who reads a paperback book is different than a hardcover book, is different than a Kindle book, is different than an audiobook reader, which is different than a podcast listener, which is different than a blog watcher, is different than fill in the channel gap here. And when you're working with your idealized audience, I would argue that the best possible channel is, how do you create raving fans who talk about you and refer other people? Because then you don't have to get through the hump of proving that I'm an authority, expert, right fit for you. It's better if it comes from someone I already trust. So we call those ambassador networks. Mm-hmm. And our primary goal, if you think about it, so here's the concentric circles, would be circle A would be, here's your target. Out here might be an affinity group. And then there's influencers who can influence the affinity group. But out here are the ambassadors. One call. So if I said to you, I said, Summer, if you could think of one person with a lot of authority who already owns relationships with your perfect client, your perfect audience, and if all they did is tapped them with their magic wand and said, go to Summer for blank, who might that person be?
So you're asking me, who would that person be to say, go to this person? Now, am
Yeah.
I giving you an actual, just the type of, client that is? Well, I can think of that person. I don't know if I should say their name.
Yeah, go ahead. Who would be the best influencer? Who would be the ambassador for you? Who they could bring you an endless supply of right fit, pre-qualified clients ready to open up their checkbooks because so-and-so said so.
Yeah. You know what? Let's use Joe as an example.
Yeah. Joe Polish.
Yeah.
So Joe Polish is a great example. And what Joe is a proximity guy, okay? He requires that you're in front of him all the time, live and in person, for him to think of you, because a million little coyotes and birdies and hawks and beasts are constantly pecking at him from a million different directions, saying, me, can you do, will you intro, will. And what Joe needs is something easy to remember to say and share about you, that he can say, look at this work of art. If you need something like this because you have this problem, so you've got to have it nailed, okay? And then you really need to know the profile of your right fit, so he, in his mind, can match that up and go, oh, overlay mask, okay, you're one of those. If you're one of those, you need one of these.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to make that really easy. And I just did something for, I can put it in comments here. I did a product for, I got to see if this stupid thing will paste. Let's see. Okay. No, it won't. God, I hate Instagram. I've got like pre-programmed messages, but I'll find it. I'll tell you what it is right now.
Okay.
Let's see.
I can type it in. I can try to type it in here.
Yeah, give me 1 sec. I'll tell you what it is in a moment. I got to remember the damn thing. Anyway, I'll tell you the story and then I'll find it and paste it in. But
okay,
short version is I got hired by Strategic Coach to help them with their marketing. And here's the challenge that a strategic coach has is someone says, you should join Strategic Coach. And they go, well, why? And and someone will say, well, it's because. If you go to, here's what you can put in chat. It's www.paidforlife.com/coach story. Okay. That's the link. paidforlife.com/coach story. And the net is if someone goes to Strategic Coach, they really have to understand what it is and how it works. And also the fact that it's virtual, it's live, and what you get and who's in it and why a lot of people, it's like, I don't need another coach. I've tried it and it's failed. And how am I going to describe this to my spouse or my coworker? It's expensive. I don't have time. I don't want to travel, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So what we did is we crafted a story that's 6 minutes long that focuses first on a story of transformation. Now, I ended up using me in the documentary, even though it doesn't need me. That wasn't what it was about. And I could put anyone else inside the story, but in the end, you got to see how Strategic Coaches helped me and helped my life, but it comes from the heart. And then after I lay down and I just expose my biggest warts and my biggest flaws and how it's helped, then I say, well, if you're wondering what it is and what you get, let me take you on a day in the life of story, virtual and physical. And Dan Sullivan and Babs watched it. I had like an early version, and Dan's response was, this is the finest piece of marketing material Strategic Coach has had in 31 years. Wow. And he called it a work of art. And the point of this is we are one story away from having all the business we need for the rest of our professional careers, or for our brand, or repurpose and reuse it over and over again. You know, Nike and Apple are exquisite brand builders, you know, having a hook. But, you know, when they worked with Tiger Woods, for example, in the early days, they made his brand. He made hundreds of millions of dollars because of Nike, probably substantially more than all the money he made playing golf ever from his endorsements, right?
Yeah.
But they created a story about how Tiger Woods, as a black man, couldn't play golf on a lot of the courses that he was going to be competing on. Okay, he broke down barriers and borders, and Nike effectively associated their brand with being, you can be that too.
Yes.
It was this inspirational story of transformation, and Tiger Woods arguably changed the course of race and sports, certainly race and golf, forever. He brought forth conversations that never would have happened. And that's hard work. It's brain-breaking, difficult, challenging work, right? You got to do the, first of all, he had to be the best damn golf player in the world to be worthy of that story.
Exactly.
He had to grind it out.
Oh, yeah.
But someone over at Nike, you know, with a multi-billion-dollar brand was like,
Yep. You're one story away. I love that. That's so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So powerful. Thinking about that. It's really understanding what that story is for you. And like you said, just with Dan Sullivan, you telling your story, it's really also about asking the questions to your clients and your customers and those that have been so thrilled with you, because they're probably going to tell you things that you didn't know. It wasn't just about good customer service. It wasn't just about the final product. It is always about that transformation. You know, what were you really struggling with that you finally overcame, and now you're just like, I'm like at the top here now because of this thing. And it's usually something, it's a hard problem, but it's usually something that's simple, maybe not easy to fix, but it's a simple thing that you just get. But your customers have that, and sometimes we don't even know what that problem was. So I'll give you
that. This is something that I do. I start every one of our sessions with a woo-woo exercise, and it's a feeling exercise. And like when I do this live, so we do our work either remotely or live, but when it's live, people come to, I have a place on the beach in La Jolla, and I let them stay in my condo, and you're literally across the street from the ocean, and you get to smell it, feel it, and taste it. So I say, smell the ocean. It's infinitely filled with abundance. Think of it as a metaphor. The universe, God wants you to have all that you desire. The only question is, are you willing to receiving as much abundance as the universe wants to give you, so you can feel it through you? And so this is part of it's a heart opening. It's a mind expansion exercise, and also grounding. And when I'm done, I ask the client a simple question, which is, what feeling or emotion do you want to experience all the time, right now, all the time? And then if you imagine the person, the audience, you want to be a hero too. What emotion or feeling do they want to experience all the time? And so everything ultimately is about a feeling. It's feeling connected to source, to love, and feeling whole, and living without fear, and living without limitation. That is inherently that's the struggle that being a physical manifestation of a spirit being is all about. I think that's really what life is about, besides procreating, but it's honoring your creator by being boundless and abundance minded, and in a state of constant gratitude and love.
Yes.
And that's what makes us whole. And so if someone can feel that and get that experience through a transactional transformation, because that's what business is, you've got a profound, profound brand. And I, it doesn't matter if you're in a boring brand. I mean, a bunch of our clients are in the insurance business. They're financial advisors. They're selling moldy white bread. Okay. It's boring. It's sort of like, I say to them all the time, you are in the business of selling paste. I'm in the business of paste interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
That's so good, because there are people going, well, Mike, you do these amazing transformations because you transform these businesses, and you help people experience financial freedom and get to live a life of, passive income or whatever that is. what about me? Like you said, what about me? I sell janitorial services.
Yeah.
It's like you said, insurance. It's not that exciting. So many other people do it.
Yeah. So now, and to make matters worse, so I've got to find a way to tell a transformational story in an industry that is ruled by compliance. Okay.
Yes.
That's like, hey, we want you to come to heaven, but you can't come in. But, okay. So now we've got to teach and share anecdotal concepts that bridge a strange gap. So, it's like selling paste in a minefield. Like, damn it. What the you bastards. Because some rather fragging Decklagen Wagen Bert Bergejack was a shyster at some point and pulling all shenanigans. So now we've got to de-shenaniganize the brand on top of all that.
Yep. Nobody wants to de-shenaniganize.
I know. Hey. But everything's possible. We can make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, in every single thing that exists, there's a problem, there's pain, there's something that you're upset about in every single thing. And that's the thing, is finding what that is. And then.
Yeah. And being honest.
Yeah.
It is, you've got to take some truth serum and be willing to look, which is no uncoachable brand is capable of being successful, whether it's the human or the product or the business. Right. And you've got to be able to really look at your warts and turn your warts into roses.
Exactly.
But I can see them as a beauty mark, not as a flaw, and be able to expand on it. And I love to, the first thing I do whenever I overcome objections is I find out what's the biggest freaking elephant in the room, and we just smash it head on.
Yep, exactly. Don't try to cover up all those things. Just address it right away. You also immediately gain trust.
Yeah.
When you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I one of the great questions we ask when we're grabbing social proof is, what's the reason you almost didn't make this investment in this program or product? What's the one reason why you almost didn't commit? And that is the gold is in them thar hills. Arr, yarr.
Yeah. Yeah. That's always the biggest objection, right?
It is.
Oh my gosh, Mike, you're so awesome. I wish we had like 2 more hours because I know you actually yourself have so many personal, amazing stories. I'm going to type in here, I'm guessing the best place to find more information about you is your website, MikeKoenigs.com.
Yeah, you can go there, and then we have a new business site, which is
sweet.
Superpower.1.
Superpower.1.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah, .one. So that's where the Superpower Accelerator is. We got a new
sweet
podcast coming out from the business itself. And then we were, I got podcasts with Dan Sullivan. It's called Capability Amplifier. The other one is The Big Leap with Gay Hendricks. Another amazing.
Yes, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Also, those of you, check out when you go to your site, which is so cool, there's a timeline of all the things that Mike has done, like year after year, the different things that you've worked on. Your mind's going to be blown also with all the people that you've worked with and businesses, lives that you've transformed, including your own. It's incredible.
Yeah.
You're just like,
right.
Yeah. I've always loved you, and it's such an honor to know you, call you a friend, be in Genius Network with you. I'm so grateful to you.
Same way, Summer. You are too. Thanks for reaching out. This was kind of you and refreshing. Really refreshing.
Oh, good. Well, thank you. You just dumped a whole bunch of value for everyone watching. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon in person.
Yeah,
this is over.
Meeting up the next Genius Network meeting actually in February.
Oh, nice, awesome.
Yeah.
I won't be at that one, but I'll be online. I'll be on the virtual. So yeah.
Well, you just
all right.
Send me some little keyboard tippy taps.
Oh, I totally will.
Okay.
Whole private messages.
Lots of love.
Thank you. You too.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.